Good to go. In part 3 of this robot setup video, I want to talk about risk management. I want to discuss the importance of managing risk. Risk is really important when running a robot. Somebody wrote me on YouTube in the comments of the previous video yesterday, and they said, hey, listen, I've always been under the impression that if you run a robot, you run the risk of blowing up your trading account. And the fact of the matter is, you don't got to run a robot to blow up your trading account. Everybody eventually, 95% of people eventually blow up their trading account. Running a robot is a way to hopefully overcome some of the emotions with trading, but maybe it doesn't even do that. Let's say that it doesn't even accomplish that. Let's say that robot trading doesn't even accomplish removing the emotions. You know what robot trading does for me? Let's just say that there's no difference between the success of robotic traders and discretionary traders. I'll argue that that's not true, but I'll just grant you that argument and say, sure, there's no difference. Well, the difference for me is that I can take trades without sitting in front of the screen all the time. That's the difference for me. That's what makes the difference. Now I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to say it is, for me, safer. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Trading is not suitable for all investors. By the way, I want to thank our sponsor. If you're interested in trading the FX market, contact our sponsor, Forest Park FX, and receive cashback rebates on every trade you place. You just go to forestparkfx.com. That's forestparkfx.com. Forex trading carries a significant risk of loss. Terms and conditions will apply. Let's talk about risk. I run a robot called the Finch robot. The Finch robot takes lots of trades off the 1-minute chart. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about that, and I set up all of my charts that I run on my account inside of my brand new Shadow server. So it's running, and there's some open trades on the screen right here. And you can see it's a $10,995 account. I'm down 62 cents right now. It's not a very exciting, for some people, look, but I'm absolutely loving it. I'm on track to do 2% in the month of February, which is just fantastic. I'm building my track record just like I ask everyone else to do. And the track record is there so that one day, if I decide to be registered again as a commodities trading advisor, I can run $50 million in capital. I'm not a professional money manager anymore. I don't do it right now. I won't manage your money. I don't manage accounts. I'm not soliciting that. I don't care what broker you trade with. I'm just showing you this as an educational video. The Finch robot, as a reminder, looks for divergences. I have an indicator called Knoxville divergence. It tracks the movement of price versus the movement of an oscillator or the momentum indicator. You can look up videos on YouTube. They're absolutely free that describe the Knoxville divergence indicator. You can even download Knoxville divergence indicator free, and you can get a free Knoxville divergence indicator. So all day long on the 1-minute charts, this is buying and selling based on divergences. The robot will sell, and it will hold it until that sell trade is profitable. It will buy, and it will hold until that buy trade is profitable. It won't reverse automatically if a signal in the opposite direction is shown. I close all of the trades out, including the losers, multiple times a day. So there is an automatic stop loss. When the account has grown, the losing trades are closed, the profitable trades are closed, the account grows by a very small amount, and then we move on to the next setups. And in this respect, the system is always taking lots of trades. It takes tons of trades, and it spreads out the risk amongst a lot of small trades. Well, how small are they? Let's take a look. So I'll pull up the dollar Swiss right here. It's a blue background because there are no open trades right now. And we'll click on the inputs, and then we'll click on the settings. And what I want to do is I want to show you the settings. So I'm going to show you what it looks like here on the screen, and I'm going to draw a bigger number next to it. The Finch robot can take 2 trades. The first trade is only 1 micro lot, which equals 10 cents in US dollars per pip, or 10 pence in pounds, or 10 cents or whatever it is in euros. Or if you live in a country like Australia, 1/10 of an Australian dollar, 1/10 of a Canadian dollar, 1/10 of a New Zealand dollar, 1/10 of a yen, 1/10 of a euro. That's the first trade size value. It's called a micro lot. Every single person that runs this robot starts with this trade size. The next trade size, if the first trade is unprofitable and price goes against us 70 pips, as we talked about yesterday, a second trade can open, and that trade size is 3 microlots, or 3 times the size of the first. The profit target is 1.30, or $1.30 US, $1.30 Canadian, €1.30 in Europe, £1.30 in the UK, and so forth. That's the profit target. In other words, on average, that's 13 pips. I don't change these settings for any currency pair. I don't adjust these for any. I keep this the same. Some of you have discovered that you like different settings for different currency pairs, maybe even different time frame charts for different currency pairs. But I run it all on the 1 minute chart, and I have the same settings for every single currency pair. And I never make any changes. I just have been doing it this way for so long, I don't change it. Some alterations to the system have said for trade 2, you should go 5 times the size of the profit target for trade 1. So it would be $5 plus 30 cents times 5, so it'd be $6.50 for the profit target on trade 2. Some people have even gone 10 times greater and made the profit target, if trade 2 opens, $13. And some have experimented with this and had a lot of success with a larger profit target on second trade profit in dollars. I don't choose to do that. I like keeping everything exactly the way that it comes when you pull the Finch robot out of the box. That's the way I like it. I like to trade it on the 1 minute chart, and sometimes I make mistakes. So purposefully today, what I've done is I've made a little bit of a mistake here. You'll notice that the dollar Swiss chart that's open right now is on the 1 hour chart. So oftentimes what will happen is someone will write to me and they'll say, hey, my robot's not taking any trades. And I'm going to walk you through all of the things that you should do to make sure that it is. Number 1, you might be on the wrong time frame chart. This is on the hour 1 chart, or H1. That's the wrong time frame chart. This should be on a 1 minute chart. And as soon as I move it over to the 1 minute chart, everything starts to change and the robot can begin to take trades. The next thing that you want to check, if the robot's not opening trades, is you want to make sure that auto trading is enabled with this button right here on your screen. You also want to check that if in the settings of the robot, you have made sure to check Allow Live Trading in the Common tab in the settings window. Make sure that Allow Live Trading is turned on. A lot of you have also asked about the magic number and a few other items. So let's take a look at those and the spread. So there are some other settings inside of the robot settings and that would keep you from being able to take a trade. The first one is slippage and spread. Slippage refers to if the market is moving quickly and the broker can't open the trade at the price that the robot wanted, it won't open the trade. So if price moves 5 pips away from the intended entry price, it won't take the trade. Spread means if the market's moving quickly or if it's after the news and the spread widens to 10 pips, 20 pips, or something big, the robot won't take the trade. This doesn't really affect much in back testing. It really does affect more things in forward testing. So if you think the robot should have taken a trade and it didn't, check the time frame chart. Check the auto trade button. Check the Common tab for Allow Live Trading. Check the max spread in pips. And as a last resort, talk to your FX dealer and say, am I allowed to run robots on this account? Is there a problem here? Do I have enough margin? Maybe you don't have enough margin. Maybe something like that went wrong. So I'm just going to walk through real quickly and change the charts to the 1 minute chart that I did incorrectly. There we go. I think they're all set correctly now. The major way that I deal with managing risk is the following. I have a small trade size. Today I talked to a friend who's running the robots on a $5,000 account. On a $5,000 account running 21 currency pairs with 0.1 and 0.03, last year he experienced a 19% drawdown. That means that at some point in time, his account was losing about $1,000. That's pretty significant. But he has a small trading account for 21 pairs. He was running 21 pairs, and his drawdown was big. And he said, is that okay? And I said, that's all right if you're comfortable with it. That's fine. If you're comfortable with that amount of risk, that's fine with me. My maximum drawdown was 3%. It might have gotten up to 5%. It might have even gotten up to 9% last year. I'm going to check my statistics to make sure that I don't give you an inaccurate portrayal. But these are the upper limits and the upper boundaries of what I would accept as far as risk is concerned. I wouldn't go much higher than that. Here are some things that you can do that would affect or help you deal with and minimize risk. So number one is trade size. Start with 1 microlot on the first trade, 3 microlots on the second trade. Number two, run fewer currency pairs. If you have a $100 account, run the robot, but just run it on one pair. If you have a $5,000 account, you might expect that if you run 21 pairs, you could experience a time when you have a loss of $1,000 running in your account. If you're comfortable with that, then you're comfortable with that. If you're uncomfortable with that, what do? You can't reduce the trade size further than 0.01. You reduce the number of pairs. And in the short term, you make less money, but you stay in the game. These two things are the things that most people aren't willing to do. They're not willing to reduce their trade size, or they can't, or they're not willing to reduce the number of currency pairs they run. Okay. I feel pretty comfortable that we've talked a lot about risk there, and a lot about trade size, and a lot about limiting risk. I haven't really talked enough, I think, about size of trading accounts. So let's say that you have a $500 trading account. If I had a $500 trading account, I would run 4 pairs maximum. Let's say that I had a $1,000 trading account. I might run 6 pairs. Let's say that I had a $5,000 trading account. I might run a maximum of 10 pairs. And on a $10,000 account, I might run maximum of 21 currency pairs. And then if I had a $20,000 account, I would change the trade size to 0206 and the profit target to $2.60, which is 2 times greater, because the account is 2 times greater. That means if I had a $100,000 trading account, which I do, I have $167,000, my trade size on that account is 10 times greater. So it would be 0.1 and 0.3, 1 mini lot and 3 mini lots, and my profit target would be 10 times greater, or $10, $13, which is 10 times greater than my profit target on a $10,000 account. That's a bunch of stuff about risk and trade size. It's so important, and it's so often ignored because someone will say, well, you said the robot works. I'm going to go for broke. I'm going to try something crazy. And you can try something crazy. Fine. If you want to go crazy, do it with money that you can afford to lose, because you probably will. The name of the game, as I have said 1,000 times before, is risk management. Now, in our next video, which will happen, if you're watching this live, it will happen next week. We'll plan the webinar. We'll come back next week. We're going to talk about running the robot honeymoon style, but I'm going to give you a preview of what that means right now. Honeymoon style means I close all trades every time the account grows by a tiny, small amount. Right now, I close all the trades in the account, the losses and the wins, every time the account grows by $2. And up to 5 times a day, my account closes all the trades. And it's all done automatically by a robot. What this does is it keeps me from being stuck in losing trades. Losing trades are the worst. So by closing all the trades every time the account has grown, I don't get stuck in losing trades. Let me give you an example of what I mean. One day I made $10. One day I made $10. One day I made $10. And I just kept making $10 by closing all the trades $2 at a time. So it closed it 5 times, 5 times, 5 times. And I made $30 total. The next day, all of a sudden, I got stuck in a euro Swiss trade or something like that. And that trade was down $25. Open loss was $25. And meanwhile, it just kept banking $1.30, $1.30, $1.30, $1.30 times. Let's say that happened, 15 to 20 times. And suddenly, my total profit on all those $1.30 trades was $27 in profit. That means I could close out the loss and still keep $2. Now, the reason people get annoyed with this is I just gave back $25 and only kept $2. But you know what I really did? I saved my account. That losing trade is over. That losing trade is gone, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. And a robot closes all those trades. I no longer get stuck in losing trades because my robot's closing all the trades. It's closing all the losing trades. Okay, in the next set of videos, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about honeymoon finch, or HF, and then we're going to talk about when trades really go bad. What do we do if it can't catch up enough profit to close out losing trades? We'll talk about that when we come back. If you're watching the recording on YouTube, I just want to say thanks for being here. Thank you to our sponsor, Forest Park FX. And if you don't have a copy of the robots, you can get them at a link below. And you can also see a link to my live My FX book